يقول راجي عفو رب سامعي محمد بن الجزري الشافعي: الحمد لله وصلى الله على نبيه ومصطفاه محمد وآله وصحبه ومقرئ القرآن مع محبه. وبعد إن هذه مقدمة فيما على قارئه أن يعلمه، إذ واجب عليهم محتم قبل الشروع أولا أن يعلموا مخارج الحروف والصفات ليلفظوا بأفصح اللغات، محرر التجويد والمواقف وما الذي رسم في المصاحف.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا متقبلا يا أرحم الراحمين. O Allah, teach us what benefit us, increase us in knowledge, in good morals, and in good deeds, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. We are still explaining Aljazariyya, and this is the 68th class by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings. Yes, we took a long time on verse 31, and it is worth it, inshallah, because we have to be the pioneers in protecting the Quran, protecting the way the Quran is being recited and the way the Quran has reached us. And those were very important topics and lectures to know that, inshallah. And I told you I'm going to summarize to you my opinion, which is I don't have an opinion, basically. Who am I to have an opinion in this? I tell you the opinion that I follow, and I think it is the reasonable opinion, especially in this time, in this day and age, which is, as we mentioned before, the scholars, they agreed this doesn't work for you. No, you need to be close, right? You need to be close to the camera, no problem. Applying them, we said we are recommended and required to beautify our voices when we recite the Holy Quran. That's agreed upon. Now we said, and you do that, yeah brother, by nature. You try what you can from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. Now if you want to learn it, to learn the musical melodies and apply it to the Quran, we said the scholars by consensus agree that if you exceed the tajweed rules for the sake of the maqamat, then that is haram. No discussion about this. And we explained and we showed you dozens of statements by the scholars, and some, maybe another dozen will come in this lecture and in the last lecture, which will be inshallah next week in this section. So we agreed on that. Someone extending the mad rules above their limits, someone going up and down too much, someone changing the letters, right? Adding letters, dropping letters. We saw examples of all of these things in the video, right? We saw that. So they agreed that is haram by consensus. And it differs, sometimes someone unwillingly just his voice goes up and down a little bit in the ghunna, sometimes a little bit, like not intentional. Okay, but we're talking about those who do on purpose and do with exaggeration, as we have seen, right? We have seen like this, right? We have seen so many examples about that, and dropping letters and adding letters, etc., etc. Now, what if someone applies those musical melodies without exceeding any tajweed rule? What is the ruling for the vast majority of the ancient scholars? What is the ruling? We said it's makruh, right? We read this many times. We said it is makruh. But some scholars, they said as long as you are not exceeding the tajweed rules, then it's not makruh. It's okay. And that's the opinion that this servant holds. Why? Because why to make it makruh if he's sticking to the rules? Okay? So those people, they said it's impossible. We say let's not put that assumption. If they apply all the tajweed rules, let them apply anything. As long as they're applying the tajweed rules and not exceeding them, there's no reason to say makruh. Some of them they say because they're likening themselves to the people of fisq, the people of disobedience, the rebellious people, the singing people of singing, etc. etc. We say, as long as the Quran remains the Quran and the way it's read according to the rules, it doesn't matter. Okay? Let's see who said this among our great scholars. And then we move to line 32, inshallah. Okay, Imam Al-Khatib-Sharbini, his book is Mughni al-Muhtaj, is one of the references for fatwa in the Shafi'i fiqh. Okay, he says, Tanbih, تحسين الصوت بالقراءة مسنون. Improving and beautifying your voice in the reading is مسنون, is sunnah, right? ولا بأس بالإدارة للقراءة بأن يقرأ بعض الجماعة قطعة ثم البعض قطعة بعدها. There's no problem if a group are reading and one person reads some, like an ayah, and the other person reads an ayah, the other person, there's no problem with this. Okay? ولا بأس بترديد الآية للتدبر. There's no problem with repeating the ayah for reflection, which is good. There's a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ repeated an ayah for so many times in his qiyam al-layl. ولا باجتماع الجماعة في القراءة. There's no problem with the group sitting together and reading Quran together. Then he says, ولا بقراءته بالألحان. There's no problem with reading the Quran with the melodies. فإن أفرط في المد والإشباع حتى ولد حروفا من الحركات. So if he exaggerates in the mad to the extent he is generating letters out of the harakat, or al asqata hurufan, or if he drops some letters, haruma, then it's forbidden, right? No discussion about it. ويفسق به القارئ ويأثم المستمع. And the qari is considered disobedient and rebellious, fasiq, is considered fasiq with this. And the mustami', the one who's listener, is a sinner, is athim, unless what? Unless he objects, right? If there's a sin that is happening in your presence and you don't care, then you'll get the sin also. You'll get a sayyi'ah. You have either to leave, or if you cannot leave, you have to stay, you have to deny. Now, how do you deny? If you're of the people of power, means you're in authority, you have to change it with your hand. Let's say, for example, someone like I own, let's say, a school, and someone comes inside and he has a bottle of wine and he wants to drink in my school, for example, and I'm the principal, and I can stop him. I can change it with my hand, I can call the police, I can, etc., whatever. Now, if I cannot, means I'm not of the people of authority, then what should I do? With my words. If I cannot with my words, I'm afraid he's going to kill me, he's whatever, then at least with my heart. But you have to take an action. You cannot be just negative, right? And this is taken from the hadith of our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam. General hadith, you have to keep it in your mind all the time. Who knows the hadith? Whoever among you, man ra'a minkum munkaran, فَلْيُغَيِّرْهُ بِيَدِهِ. Whoever among you sees a munkar, sees an evil, sees a sin, he should change it with his own hand. Means what? This is a metaphor of power and authority. Not only like, you can stop a person making a sin, you can stop him, but no. If you don't have the authority, you cannot do that, right? If you cannot, then change it with what? With your tongue. If you cannot, then with your heart. وَذَلِكَ أَضْعَفُ الْإِيمَانِ. And that's the least level of iman. So, وَيَأْثَمُ الْمُسْتَمِعِ. Why it's haram to do that? لِأَنَّهُ عَدَلَ بِهِ عَنْ نَهْجِهِ الْقَوِيمِ كَمَا نَقَلَهُ فِي الرَّوْضَةِ عَنِ الْمَاوَرْدِ. Because he deviated from the right way of reciting it. Now, وَيُسَنُّ تَرْتِيلُ الْقِرَاءَةِ وَتَدَبُّرُهَا وَالْبُكَاءُ عِنْدَهَا. So what did he say here? As you see, he said if he did this, then it is haram. So he did not mention, this means if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't exceed the rules, then it is okay. Okay, then he says وَيُسَنُّ تَرْتِيلُ الْقِرَاءَةِ وَالْبُكَاءُ عِنْدَهَا وَاسْتِمَاعُ شَخْصِ الْحَسَنِ الصَّوْتِ وَالْمُدَارَسَةِ وَأَنْ يَقْرَأَ عَلَى غَيْرِهِ وَيَقْرَأَ غَيْرُهُ عَلَيْهِ. And it's sunnah to read with tartil, with distinct, show the letters distinctly from one another, and slowly with reflection and with the crying and weeping, and to listen to someone who has nice voice, and to study means to read to someone and someone reads to you, etc. Imam Sakhawi in Fath al-Mughith, one of the greatest imams of Qira'ah, he said, وَالْحَقُّ فِي هذه المسألة, and the truth in this matter is that إن خرج بالتلحين لفظ القرآن عن صيغته بإدخال حركات فيه أو إخراج حركات منه أو قصر ممدود أو مد مقصور أو تمطيط يخفى به اللفظ ويلتبس به المعنى فالقارئ فاسق والمستمع آثم وإن لم يخرجه اللحن عن لفظه والمستمع آثم. Then we say come here. وإن لم, so let's translate this first. So he's saying if by talheen, right? By talheen means by applying the musical melodies. No, put it on the table. Oh, put it on the table. By talheen, if you're exiting from the pronunciations or the words of the Quran by inserting some harakat or dropping some harakat or shortening a mad letter or prolonging a qasr letter, which is not mamdud, or tamtit يخفى به اللفظ, تمطيط, stretching, as you will see, تمطيط الشد, which means stopping on a mushaddad letter to the extent you feel there are two different letters. Okay? For example, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, تمطيط. Okay? Or extending the mad letters in a way that will confuse the meaning or make the meaning unclear, then فَالْقَارِئُ فَاسِقٌ. The reciter is a fasiq. He's a rebellious, he's a sinner. وَالْمُسْتَمِعُ آثِمٌ, and the one who is listening to him is a sinner. Now, وَإِن لَمْ يُخْرِجْهُ اللَّحْنُ عَنْ لَفْظِهِ, this is the point. You can see that sentence, that line here on the bottom. وَإِن لَمْ يُخْرِجْهُ اللَّحْنُ. Okay? If the lahn, إن لم يخرجه اللحن عن لفظه وقراءته على ترتيله فلا كراهة. If by applying the melody you did not exit from the right pronunciation of it, of the Quran, and from its tartil, then no karaha. It's not disliked. Why? لأنه زاد بألحانه في تحسينه. Because in applying this nice melody, you've beautified your recitation. Did you get that? It's very clear, right? Okay, Imam ibn Hajar radiallahu anhu in al-Fath, Fath al-Bari. When we say al-Fath, it means Fath al-Bari. Imam ibn Hajar in Fath al-Bari, rahimahullah ta'ala, what does he say? Okay, here, Bismillah. Imam ibn Hajar in al-Fath, what does he say? He says, rahimahullah, ولا شك أن النفوس تميل إلى سماعة القرآن بالترنم أكثر من ميلها لمن لا يترنم. There's no doubt. Imam ibn Hajar, guys, and Imam al-Nawawi, these are like the pillars of Sunnah, the pillars of Sunnah, of the sciences of Sunnah. Even all Muslim schools, subhanallah, they all agreed that these two great Imams, they're authorities in everything, okay, except for a small group that are not reliable in its words and in its sheikhs and in its, especially Imam al-Nawawi. All the schools love him, all the schools, and they teach his books, Al-Arba'in al-Nawawi, the 40 Nawawi Hadith, Riyadh al-Salihin, Al-Adhkar, Tibyan, all his books. He's a great Imam, even though he's Shafi'i, but all of the schools love him because he's subhanallah, an amazing man. So these two Imams, by agreement and by consensus, they are the best who explain Bukhari and Muslim. Imam Bukhari in his, Imam Ibn Hajar in Fath al-Bari, and Imam Muslim in his commentary on Sahih Muslim. Imam Nawawi in his commentary on Sahih Muslim. And by the way, Imam Nawawi also started explaining Bukhari, but he died before he completed it. And the scholars, they feel sad because Imam Nawawi lived only 45 years. They say, we wish he lived more because his writings are very scholarly and well written. I asked one of my teachers in Syria about 10 years ago about one of Imam Nawawi's books, Then he told me, you don't ask about Imam Nawawi's book. He told me, you don't ask about Imam Nawawi's book. Any book by Imam Nawawi is reliable, is a book that you can read and you should read. But you can ask about books by people who are not known, people that are, okay? So, what does Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani rahimahullah says in this? And by the way, I'm explaining now the 40 Nawawi hadith. In short, after Fajr, Khatiras, Khawatir. And I urge every single one of you, especially those who are teaching Sunday school, every single one of you, you have to know and watch those lessons. They're extremely important, and they include the basic knowledge that everyone should know. Okay, everyone should know. So he says, Ibn Hajar, rahimahullah ta'ala, Amir al-Mu'mineen, they call him Amir al-Mu'mineen fil hadith. They call him Amir al-Mu'mineen fil hadith. The Amir of the believers in the science of hadith, rahimahullah ta'ala. He's also Shafi'i. He says, ولا شك أن النفوس تميل إلى سماع القراءة بالترنم أكثر من ميلها لمن لا يقرأ. There is no doubt that the souls are inclined to hear qira'ah with melody more to those who don't make melody. Means naturally we're inclined to hear someone reading with a beautiful voice, right? That's natural. لأن للتطريب تأثيرا في رقة القلب وإجراء الدم. Because for this beautification of the voice, there's an effect in softening the heart and making the tears flow. وكان بين السلف اختلاف في جواز القرآن بالألحان. And there was among the Salaf اختلاف, difference of opinion in regard with reading the Quran with alhan, with the melodies. أما تحسين الصوت وتقديم حسن الصوت على غيره فلا نزاع في ذلك. As for beautifying the voice and introducing the one who has a better voice, there's no difference in this. فحكى عبد الوهاب المالكي عن مالك تحريم, means of course if he's within the limits and if he knows the rules of salah, etc. etc. فحكى عبد الوهاب المالكي عن مالك تحريم القراءة بالألحان. So Abdul Wahab al-Maliki, he narrated that Imam Malik said it's forbidden. وحكاه أبو طيب الطبري والماوردي والحمدان الحمري عن جماعة من أهل العلم وحكى ابن مطر أيضا القرطبي من المالكي والماوردي والبدريجي والغزالي والشافعي وصاحب البخير والحنفية والكراهة. And some other scholars from all schools, they said مكروه. واختاره أبو يعلى وابن عقيل من الحنابلة وحكى ابن بطل عن جماعة من الصحابة التابعين الجواز. And some scholars, they said it's جائز, permissible. وهو المنصوص للشافعي, and it is the adopted opinion of الشافعي. ونقله الطحاوي عن الحنفية. Even Imam Tahawi said, he narrated from some Hanafis that it is also this way. قال الفوراني من الشافعية في الإبانة يجوز بل يستحب. And one of the Shafi'i scholars, he said it's not only permissible, it's even mustahab. Means what? Preferable, recommended, right? ومحل هذا الاختلاف, and this difference of opinion, إذا لم يختل شيء من الحروف عن مخرجه, if none of the letters deviates from its makhraj, right? Means if it deviates from the makhraj, consensus. So the difference of opinion is when, yeah, brother, when he doesn't change the letter from its makhraj, right? The ayn doesn't become nabud. Right? Nabud is not ayn anymore, right? Ikhtal, it's not coming from its makhraj anymore, right? He said, فَلَوْ تَغَيَّرْ, if it changes, Imam al-Nawawi in his Tibyan said, Tibyan fi adab hamad al-Quran. If Allah wills, we're going to explain this book later on. At Tibyan, the clarification in the etiquette of the holders of the Quran. May Allah make us among them, Ya Rabbi. أجمعوا على تحريمه. They, by consensus, said that it is haram. وَلَفْظُهُ, and the words of Imam Nawawi lived before Imam Ibn Hajar. So he narrates from him also, he mentions his opinion. أجمع العلماء, now he's mentioning the words of Imam Nawawi. أجمع العلماء, the scholars by consensus, they said it's preferable to beautify your voice with the Quran. Unless you ما لم يخرج عن حد القراءة بالتمطيط, unless you exceed and you deviates from the limits of the correct reading by tamṭīt, by incorrect prolongation. فإن خرج, if you exceed the limits by adding a letter or hiding a letter, means dropping a letter, it's haram. He says, as for reading with alhan, as for reading with the melodies, Imam al-Shafi'i, in one place he said it's makruh, and in another place he said it's okay. What did Imam al-Shafi'i say? In one place he said makruh, in one place he said it's okay. So his students, they explained that. They said, this means if he doesn't exceed the limits, فإن لم يخرج بالألحان عن المنهج القويم جاز وإلا حرم. If you don't exceed the limits, then it's permissible. That's Imam al-Shafi'i, guys. Okay? وحكى الماوردي عن الشافعي أن القراءة بالألحان إذا تحت أخراج بعض الأمور حرمة. And Imam Mawardi, one of the great Shafi'i Imams, he said that Imam Shafi'i said that if you deviate from the right makharij, then it is haram. Okay. And one of the Hanafi scholars also said, Sahib al-Dhakhira from the Hanafiya, he said if he doesn't goes into tamtit, that it changes the nazm, the words, then it is mustahab. It is mustahab. وَإِلَّا فَلَا. And if not, then it is not. Okay. وَالَّذِي يَتَحَصَّلُ مِنَ الْأَدِلَّةِ. Look now at these nice words from Imam Ibn Hajar. He says, and the summary from the proofs is that حُسْنُ الصَّوْتِ بِالْقُرْآنِ مَطْلُوبٌ. The beautifying your voice with the Quran is required. And if فَإِنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ حَسَنًا فَلْيُحَسِّنْهُ مَا اسْتَطَاعَ. If it is not good, try to improve it as much as you can. Okay? Inshallah, Allah, if I have time, I would like to make a class for you guys to help you improve your recitation, because it's good. And of the things that will help you, listen to some nasheed. Okay? Not songs, nasheed. So when you listen to some nasheed and try to practice some nasheed, it will help you. It will improve your skills, right? Okay? But you have to be careful not to exceed the limits. Then he says, كما قال ابن أبي مليكة أحد رواه الحديث وقد أخرج ذلك عنه أبو داود بإسناد صحيح. One of the scholars who narrated the ahadith about beautifying our voices with the Quran, he said that. He said, try to beautify it as much as you can. Right? Excuse me. Then he says, وإن خرج عنها أثر ذلك في حسنه وإن خرج عنها أثر ذلك في حسنه وغير الحسن ربما جبر بمراعاتها ما لم يخرج عن شرط الأداء المعتبر عند أهل القراءة. Sorry, we skipped this. ومن جملة تحسينه, and out of part of improving it, أن يراعي فيه قوانين النغم فإن الحسن الصوت يزداد حسنا بذلك. That you follow, listen what he's saying here, very important words by Imam al-Hajar. And out of beautifying it and improving it and making it better and making it good is to conform to the laws of the melodies. فإن الحسن الصوت يزداد حسنا بذلك. Because that will increase the beauty of the Quran. What does he mean here? He's not telling you learn the melodies, the musical melodies, and don't. He's saying the law of the melodies in general. What does that mean? Like you're reading in a certain melody. You don't jump to another melody like in a suddenly. Like you're saying, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, like, no, you follow the basic commonsensical rules of the melodies. Okay? For example, you read the ayat about the hellfire, about these things. You read them with a sad mode, for example, not a rejoicing mode, for example. So this is what he means by this. Doesn't mean you go and learn the 7 musical melodies and try to follow them. Of course not. So he's talking about what the general rules of beautifying your voice. Okay, and there are simple rules for that. That is good to learn, right? So you maintain the. It's mostly about coherence. It's mostly about consistency in your reading, okay, conformity in your reading, okay. I'm reading الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. Then you go إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. That doesn't fit, right? So this is what he means, والله أعلم. Then he says وإن خرج عنها أثر ذلك في حسنه. And if he exceeds those rules, that might affect its beauty. وغير الحسن ربما انجبر بمراعاتها ما لم يخرج عن شرط الأداء المعتبر عند أهل القراءة. And the one who doesn't have like a very beautiful voice, وغير الحسن ربما انجبر بمراعاتها, it might be good and be improved by following those rules. And as long as he doesn't break the conditions of the accepted أداء by the people of قراءات. فإن خرج عنها, and if he exceeds those rules, those conditions of قراءات, of قراءة, of the recitation, لم يفي تحسين الصوت بقبح الأداء, then his beautiful voice will never recompense or compensate for the bad performance. Did you understand that, or shall I repeat? Even, he said, if you exceed, he said, if someone doesn't have a beautiful voice, maybe by following those rules, the rules of the common sense rules of the melodies, the general rules, that if he conformed to them, that might improve his voice. Okay? As long as he doesn't exceed or breaks the conditions of the correct reading according to the people of Adab, the people of Quran. So, فَإِنْ خَرَجَ عَنْهَا, if he breaks those conditions and he's applying those laws of the melodies, لم يفي تحسين الصوت بقبح الأداء. That application of the melodies will never recompense or never compensate or never replace or never make up. It will never make up and never make us tolerate the bad performance. Why bad performance? Because he is exceeding the rules of the correct qira'ah and the correct recitation. Did you get that? It's very clear that the foundation and the main rule is what? Is following the rules of the recitation. And he said, and maybe this is the reason why many scholars, they said it's makruh to read with the melodies. Because most of those who try to conform to the melodies, they don't conform to the recitation rules. SubhanAllah, as he's exactly saying what we know, right? 99.99% of those who do their best just to apply the melodies, they break the rules. And you have seen with your own eyes. Now he says, SubhanAllah, this is my argument. This is my argument before I read these words. فَإِنْ وُجِدَ مَنْ يُرَاعِيهِمَا مَعًا فَلَا شَكَّ فِي أَنَّهُ أَرْجَحْ مِنْ غَيْرِهِ. So if we have someone who conforms to both of them, then there is no doubt that it is better than others. لأنه يأتي بالمطلوب من تحسين الصوت ويجتنب الممنوع من حرمة الأداء. Catch these words for me, ya Sheikh. They're words that can be written with gold. They're words that can be written with gold. He's saying why it is better than others, because he did what is required of beautifying the voice, and he avoided what is forbidden of exceeding the rules of recitation. Do you see that? Did you see that? That is I think, inshallah, the right opinion and the reasonable opinion. In addition to this, ya Sheikh, we said also another condition that we add so that your application of the melodies will not be makruh is that the melodies are not diverting you from reflecting on the meanings. And applying the melody is not your own concern. And also applying the melodies doesn't push you to go and sit with the people of singing and the people of rebellion and the people of fisq and the disobedient ones who do singing in a wrong way or in an unlawful way. It doesn't push you to go with them and be with them and start wanting to learn from them, because that might be a slope, right, that will lead you to haram. And one of the proofs, we know a very famous Syrian nasheed person. He started mixing with those people until he turned to be a singer. He was a munshid, someone who praises Allah, praises the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, talks about Islam, and even his videos, they're famous. Even they used to put him on TV. He's praising Allah and His Messenger. Then, at the end of his life, now I don't know, maybe he died. He became what? He became a singer who will go to the nightclubs and sing in the nightclubs, or in the restaurants where the alcohol is served, etc., etc. And we know this. And even they call him Sheikh, so and so. So they kept his title from the last, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, distorting the. So, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us on His path. So this is the summary, guys, of the, inshallah, the right opinion that I advise you to take. So we continue line 32. So he said in line 31, rahimahullah ta'ala, وَرَدُّ كُلِّ وَاحِدٍ لِأَصْلِهِ, right? Means tajweed. So he's still talking about what? About tajweed, right? What does he say, rahimahullah? وَرَدُّ كُلِّ وَاحِدٍ لِأَصْلِهِ, and returning every letter to its origin means what? To its makhraj. That is tajweed. وَاللَّفْظُ فِي نَظِيرِهِ كَمِثْلِهِ, and the pronunciation or the utterance in its equivalent should be similar. Means what? Means you have to have conformity and consistency in your recitation. You started mad arid 2, continue 2, 2, 2, 2. You started 4, you continue 4, 4, 4. You make the ba light here, you make it ba all the way. Right? You make the kha heavy, you make it heavy all the time, etc. So you apply this rule in all of your reading, in all aspects of the reading. Then he says, rahimahullah, مكملا من غير ما تكلف باللطف في النطق بلا تعسف. مكملا or مكملا. مكملا or مكملا. Both narrations are correct. مكملا or مكملا من غير ما تكلف باللطف في النطق بلا تعسف. What does مكملا mean? He said, returning every letter to its origin, مكملا. مكملا means being completed. What is being completed? The letter. Got it? مكملا means what? Being completed. What is being completed? The letter being completed means pronouncing it and making it complete. What does that mean? From right makhraj, with its right صفات. Right? So كون الحرف الملفوظ حالة كون الحرف الملفوظ مكملا means the condition of the letter, this word مكملا, if we make i'rab, it is حال. It is حال, means the state of the letter is مكمل. The condition of the letter is مكمل, means every letter being complete or completed. So you give it its right from its makhraj, from its صفات, and you apply the mustahaq of the صفات, all the resulting rules that result from applying the صفات. So that is مكملا. من غير ما تكلف. من غير, without. من غير, without. As you can see here, مكملا من غير ما تكلف. ما is زائدة للتأكيد, they say. من غير ما تكلف means من غير تكلف. Why this ma here? Just it's additional for emphasis. Means without any, if you like, without any takalluf. What is takalluf? Takalluf from kulfa, from, which means mashaqqa, burdening, without burdening yourself, without exaggeration, without unnaturalness. Without unnaturalness. So keep it natural. Without artificiality, without affectation, tasanna. Okay? We're going to explain this word more. So, مكملا من غير ما تكلف. Just complete the letter from the makharij, the sifat. Don't exaggerate. Don't just try to make some movements or some additional things just to impress others. No. Stick to the rules in regard with this letter. So that is مكملا من غير ما تكلف باللطف في النطق, with ease. لطف, لطيف. باللطف. باللطف means with ease. باللطف في النطق, with ease in pronunciation. بلا تعسف, without تعسف. What is تعسف? Aberration or deviation or exaggeration. Okay, they say this is تعسف, exaggeration, aberration, deviation. So that is line 32. مكملا من غير ما تكلف باللطف في النطق بلا تعسف. That's the first possibility. The second possibility مكملا ورد كل واحد لأصله واللفظ في نظيره كمثله. As you can see here, Sheikh Ayman put a fatha and a kasra to show you the two possibilities, right? So مكملا, مكملا here will be also حال. Also it will be considered in i'rab حال or condition or status. What does that mean? For example, I say جاء أحمد ضاحكا. Ahmad came laughing, right? So how do you make i'rab for this word ضاحكا? The word ضاحكا, you say حال منصوب. حال منصوب. In Arabic, the حال always منصوب. مصدقا لما بين يديه, etc. Right? مبشرا. So his condition when he came is what? ضاحكا. So we say this is حال. Okay? Here مكملا. So حالة كون اللافظ مكملا للحروف means what? So مكملا means the person is مكملا, is completing. Completing what? Completing the letters. Means what? Pronouncing them with their right makharij, from their right sifat, with applying all the rules resulting from applying those sifat. So we have al-lafidh and we have malfudh. What does that mean? We have qari and maqru. We have al-lafidh means the one who is pronouncing, and malfudh is what? Is the pronounced thing. Just like qari and maqru, the reciter and the thing that is being recited. So mukammalan is hal or condition for what? For what is recited, for the letter or for the qari? For the letter. But mukammilan is a condition or a status for what? For the person. So حالة كوني اللافظ إقار مكملا للحرف. So this is a condition for the reciter. Okay, من غير ما تكلف, without takalluf, without having burden in your qira'ah, by adding to the makhraj, or adding certain movements or certain sounds to the makhraj, or exaggerating in showing its sifat, right? Just like you exaggerate in showing the hams of the ta, right, brother? إذا الشمس كورت وكورت. No exaggeration. Okay? بلا تكلف and بلا تعسف, without, look at this nice explanation by one of the imams about ta'assuf. He said بلا تعسف. Ta'assuf is what? Aberration, exaggeration or deviation. What does that mean? He said without بلا خروج عن استقامة جادة الأداء. Without, look here, ta'assuf, he's saying without exceeding or leaving the straight way of the recitation to the two sides of ifrat and tafriq. We have two things in the religion some people do, and we have to be in the middle. What are those two deviations? Some people deviate to the right, to the far right, and some people deviate to the far left. What does that mean? To the far right, ya Ahmad, means they do what? To the far right means they exaggerate in applying the rules. Exaggerate in applying the rules and applying the, just like someone in the religion, he is exaggerating, everything is haram, spaghetti is haram, this is haram, this is everything for him is haram. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. I met someone, his cereal is haram, this is haram, macaroni, you don't know, they do this, they get from the big, I don't know what, he made it haram. Okay, just don't eat anything. So that's what? That is ifrat. That is what? Ifrat, or in the religion they call it tanattu'. And this is why Rasulullah said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, halaka al-mutanatti'un, those who exaggerate and they are halikeen, they're destroyed. So that's not good. The religion is easy, is moderation, right? On the other side, we have what? We have tafriq. complete negligence and carelessness. You have ifrat and you have tafriq. He doesn't apply any rule. Oh, it's not, you don't have to apply tajweed, you don't have, right? You see the two sides? Oh, just eat, say Bismillah and eat. Go to any restaurant, any shop, just say Bismillah and eat. Like, ya akhi. Sometimes they on this pan, they cook, they grill, what is it? Pork. They grill pork. Like, Allah, say Bismillah and eat. Who told you, ya akhi? This is what you eat affects your heart. Don't listen. Even if a sheikh has like a big amama, even if he's like, he has 100 million viewers or subscribers, don't care. What you put in your stomach will affect your heart, will affect your spirituality, will affect you. Okay? I was traveling and I stopped by a restaurant and I asked them, and they said yes, they do. They grill pork also in the same place. So you have to be careful. Okay? It's not, so we don't have ifrat, we don't have tafriq. But I'm just giving you an example. So no exaggeration and making it like too tight and too difficult and I cannot eat anything. And no, just say eat anywhere. Just say Bismillah, eat anywhere. No. These animals they cut. Sometimes some of them dead animals. Okay. Sometimes they fall in this boiling water before they are being slaughtered. And you can see the video. In the video, did you see that? In the video, when they hang the chicken. Okay. When they hang.
I didn't see that.
That's a famous video. I thought you. It's famous it's famous because people they're careful about this issue. So okay, you didn't see it. I can show you. Okay, so they hang these chicken. They're hanging these chicken on the line, and this line. Okay, all the chickens coming close to the razor. Okay, and many of these chicken you'll find they're not hanged in the right way. So when it comes to the razor, even the razor does not even touch the chicken, or maybe it just cut its leg or something, and it falls in this boiling water pot. It falls and it's killed by what? Just by by the boiled water. So that is considered what? A dead animal, right? So that is considered dead animal. Same thing when they hit these animals with electric current. Some of them they die before they slaughter them. So they're dead animals. And of course, if they're non-Muslims, they don't care. Of course, they're not going to throw it away for your religion. Of course, they have this big cow. If it dies because of the stunning, they're gonna throw it away just because for you is. Of course, they will not. Most likely, they will not. Of course, because they care for their money. So it will be a dead animal. Still, they will serve it and they will cut it and they will sell it, right? But if it's a Muslim, he's supposed to be God-fearing, and like this animal, he might give it like to cut it for dogs and cats and etc. So the whole point is what, akhi, is neither ifrat, which is exaggeration to the far right, nor tafriq, which is exaggeration to the far left. Okay. Now don't take a ruling from me. Now I did not explain the whole issue, but just be careful. Okay, be careful, and don't just go anywhere and just say Bismillah. That's not what the Prophet ﷺ said. It's not in that context. It's not in this context. It has its own context, its own explanation, its own conditions. Okay, because they used to in the past, the Christians and Jews, they used to slaughter like Muslims. Okay, but now they're not. They don't now. Now there are many regulations, many issues, many. So be careful. Mukammalan or mukammilan about this same about tajweed, not tajweed after. مكملا or مكملا من غير ما تكلف باللطف في النطق بلا تعسف. Here we comes to a very important word, as you can see, Ya Sheikh, in the screen, takalluf. So he's saying without takalluf. Mainly or originally the word takalluf is about what? Is about kulfa. This is why you are in Sharia called what? Mukallaf. What are you called? Mukallaf. Are you mukallaf? Okay. So when a Muslim, when a boy or a girl becomes mature, Islamically responsible, okay? Islamically an adult, he becomes what? Mukallaf. Baligh means mukallaf, right? Baligh means he reached puberty, that he becomes Islamically, you are mukallaf. Mukallaf means what? From kulfa. You have taklif, means you're responsible, Islamically responsible. Every word you say, every action you make, every look, every website, every picture, everything you look at, you search, you read, everything. Once you reach puberty, ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. You close the door and you lock the door and you sit by yourself and Allah is watching, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you. You're mukallaf. Now you're mature. You're responsible, right? Mukallaf came from taklif, from kulfa, from mashaqqa. Like there's some difficulty, right? There is some difficulty in the takalif. And takalif shar'iyya means the shar'i commands. The shar'i commands or prohibitions. There is some mashaqqa, right? There's some difficulty to get up like 6 a.m. to leave your warm bed and get up for fajr, and right? There is some difficulty, right? To come in the morning and at 7 o'clock and to read, especially to someone like me, and yeah, right? There is difficulty, right? There is mashaqqa, right? But there is a great reward, right? But subhanAllah, imagine if there is no difficulty at all, no difficulty at all, then how will the good people and the energetic people, the obedient people, how will they be distinguished from the rebellious, from the lazy, from the disobedient ones? How will they be distinguished? How will those who love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and love this deen, how will they be distinguished from the other ones who don't, or who are lazy, or whose love is weak, right? So there is in the takalif shar'iyya, there is some difficulty, but there is no haraj. In the religion, there is no haraj, no unbearable difficulty, but there is some little difficulty. You understand the difference? Okay. So that is originally the word takalluf. So there is some difficulty, let's say, or some burden, okay? But here we have two types of takalluf that you have to know and you have to be aware of. The first takalluf is required. The first takalluf is required. Maybe first time you hear this. You see that the picture, ya Shaykh? The first takalluf is what? Is required. Takallufu fil qira. The first one is required. The second one is dispraised. What is the first? What is the required takalluf? What is the required takalluf? And what is the dispraised takalluf? The required takalluf, ya akhi, محاكاة نطق العرب في زمن النبوة. I'm going to ask you this question, inshallah, for sure, in the test. The test is coming soon, huh? 2 more classes, you're going to have the test. Okay. So the required takalluf, ya akhi, is to do your best to imitate the pronunciation of the Arabs of the time of prophethood, of the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not the current Arabs, no. And the dispraised one is the artificial, rejected, unnatural one, because it is an exaggeration and exceeding for the limits. So the madhmoom, you know, we've been talking about the madhmoom for 3 lectures, right? The dispraised artificiality or affectation or aberration or exaggeration, what we have seen, extending the letters, shortening them, dropping, making, you see the person, his face became red and his eyes are about to pop out of his face, and right, all these exaggerations, that is mamjujun fi sama, is not even nice to the eyes. Wallahi, I'm about sometimes like to leave the prayer behind those who do this. You cannot hear it, right? Mamjujun fi sama is very, very annoying to the ears of those who know, because it has the exaggeration of the limits. So let's comment more on the first type. So the first type, ya akhi, of takalluf is matlub, is required. Why it's required? What does that mean? Means you, naturally, if you're going to read naturally, you're going to say, maybe, صِرَاطَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ. Look, صِرَاطَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ. In Syria, we say عَلَيْهِمْ. We don't say عَلَيْهِمْ. Not even that, we say, for example, we say, هجوم عليهم. We even say عليهم. We don't even say عليهم. We don't say عليهم or عليهم. No one says it. Even most of the Arabs, they never say that. They never make complete harakah. Why? Because we've changed the original classical Arabic speech of the Arabs who lived in the time of the Prophet ﷺ and the next 2 generations after that. We've changed. Our dialects and our sounds and our letters slightly changed. I'm talking about Arabs, even Arabs. So what about non-Arabs? So the summary for this, every single person, whether you're an Arab or a non-Arab, you have to have some artificiality. You have to put some effort. You might find some difficulty to what? To imitate the Arabs who lived in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, to imitate their pronunciation of the letters. And that is required. And that is required for everybody. For us in Syria, we have many letters we don't pronounce. Some villages in Syria, they say za instead of da. They say za. Okay, they say za instead of da. Right? No, that's not different riwayah. No riwayah. No, there's no different riwayah for replacing dad with za. There's riwayah they're replacing za with sad. Za with sad, and in some words only. But replacing dad in Arabic, dad can never be replaced with any letter in any narration on the face of the earth. And whoever does that is wrong, and that is haram to insist on it. But if you do your best and you cannot, then okay. But if you teach people, you have to do this, that's haram. That's haram. No discussion about this. Okay? No discussion about this. So all of us, whether Arabs or non-Arabs, we have to make takalluf, means put some effort, okay, and even try to sound artificial in order to imitate the correct the correct pronunciation of the Arabic letters as was done by the Prophet ﷺ and his companions, okay? And we do this a lot, like we say, Assalamu alaikum. Did you hear an Arab say, Assalamu alaikum? Assalamu alaikum. Here is Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum ko, right? So we have to work on the harakat, work on the letters, right? The letters, the everything. Qalqala, for example. We don't say, Wallah, where is he? Abli. We don't know Qadli. The qaf. In Syria, I don't use qaf. We say, instead of qala, we say al. This is my dialect. In Damascus, most people, they don't say qal, they say al. Instead of qal, they say al. Al, alu, ilna. We don't say qal. So when we come to the Quran, we have to say qala, not al. Qala, qulu, qul, qulna, right? So that is the takalluf that is required. That is required. And this is what Imam Ibn Al-Jazari said, rahimahullah, whoever is able to correct his pronunciation with the classical Arabic speech, and he leave it to the wrong one, to the non-Arab one, out of negligence and arrogance and pride, that he's not going to go to a scholar or a teacher who help him to correct, then he is a sinner, undoubtedly. Without doubt, he's a sinner. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did we catch that? Okay, alhamdulillah. How much time we have?
It's about to turn off any second.
Huh?
It's about to turn off any second.
Just for the charging?
Yeah.
Okay. ماشي. So, التكلف المذموم هو التنطع في القراءة أي الإفراط وضده التفريط. Okay. So as we mentioned, this artificiality or this if you like type of affectation, right, is required. Look at Imam or Al-Allama Ibn Manzur in Lisan al-Arab. Lisan al-Arab is the greatest Arabic dictionary. He said, تكلفت الشيء. تكلفت الشيء. When you do takalluf, to do something, means you're doing it with some difficulty and against your norm. على خلاف عادتك. That's exactly what we mean here. Your norm is to say a instead of qa. Your norm is to say k instead of ki. Your norm is to say ko instead of ku. So you have to make some takalluf so that you do it differently from your norm, differently from the way you were raised up. And this is, guys, very, very important to do it at an early age. To do it at an early age. And the earlier you do it, the better. If you grow older and you delay to correct these letters, they will become more difficult. They're not impossible, but they will be difficult. Why? Because when you're young, still the kids, when they're young, they can modify the letters. But when you're old, subhanallah, your tongue, right, sister, your tongue, and your organs of speech, and your jaw, all of them, they have been programmed. They have been literally, as I'm telling you, programmed in your brain to go in different directions and to do certain movements with those letters. Why? By repetition, right? Sometimes you're praying and you make sahu a little bit and you feel yourself, you're following the Imam unnaturally, unconsciously, you're following him. Right or no? Your body has been programmed to do it, got accustomed to it. Same thing with the letters. You have this letter, you have been always doing it for years this way. Your tongue naturally, when subhanallah, focus, when your eyes see this letter, your tongue naturally goes in certain direction because it has been programmed this way. By what? By repetition, repetition, repetition. So now when you want to change it, it will take some time. It will take practice. It needs what? It needs, number one, learning, to learn the right makharij, to learn the right pronunciation from a sheikh, from a certified, licensed person, skillful person. And you need a lot of patience, and you need a lot of repetition and repetition and repetition, so that you can fix those mistakes. Okay? And all of that, you're doing that, you're trying to fix the letters, all of what you're doing all of this time, you're getting a lot of rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every second you put for this, you're getting paid for it. It's not for free, right? So, مكملا من غير ما تكلف باللطف في النطق بلا تعسف. So we learned the praised takalluf and the dispraised takalluf, and the dispraised takalluf here. Move ya ammo. Affectation. The dispraised one, look, subhanAllah, this is from the English dictionary. Affectation is behavior or speech that is artificial and designed to impress others. Right? Most of those people who do the dispraised takalluf, what do? What is their purpose of this exaggeration? Right? What is the purpose? To impress others, right? So that the others are amazed, right? And artificiality is the quality of not being real or sincere. Of not being real or sincere. Also, many of them, they do this. Some of them, they lack the sincerity. We cannot say to a certain person, but some of them, this is what they do, right? So they try to appear like they're humble, they're etc., etc. So all of that type of takalluf is dispraised. But the praised one is the one that you do your effort to pronounce the letters as the Arabs in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, if you do your effort, you do your best, you put some time, and you go to the sheikhs or the scholars who are qualified to teach you, then and you cannot pronounce it, khalas. You have done your job. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not overburden you and will not bring you to account as long as you did your job and you did your best. Right? Wallah subhanahu wa ta'ala arhamur rahimin. Wallahu a'la وأعز وأجل وأعلم. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.